you guys know that a lot of times, store items and other items hint at the next expansion. And that's why a lot of us thought a pirate expansion was coming, because of all the pirate shit that was hitting the in-game store and in-game in general. But it looks like we've been duped. There's another item that's hit the store recently that could be hitting at the true next expansion, because Blizzard already said it will not be a pirate expansion. We're going inside Azeroth in 11.0, a mech expansion teased by the new armor set. Let's see what the truth teller Doran has to say about this.
We are data mining a suspicious amount of new mechanical models that have nothing to do with 10.2 or the Emerald Dream, from this goblin-like armor set to these new Siege engine models. Even more interestingly, we got yet another Zealot hint in 10.2, and we know that the prophecy talks about awakening Azeroth. Seeing that 10.2 may be it for Dragonflight, Irenicon could be moved for the next expansion, and as you may know, he's all about deep places. Goblins in Undermine dug too deep, he had discovered Azerite, so what if this is the entrance point to the World Soul of Azeroth? Irenicon seems to be after it, and he wants to bait the Titans, likely by messing with the World Soul, which means that we are not going to a new continent.
Irenicon don't give a shit about the World Soul itself, he just wants to use it to bait the Titans out so he can bitch slap them. He's got some kind of plan where that's what he's gonna do, is he thinks he's gonna go fisticuffs with the Titans.
To underground, to Azeroth herself. That could be exactly why they tested Zealot in the first place in this expansion. So what are all the hints for 11.0? Even if 10.2 is ending, there is still a whole new patch that is about to be released, and there is no better way to prepare for 10.2 and 10.1.7 than u.gg. As I play a Fury Warrior, I can find the best performing build for the current patch with the most optimal gear, best in slots, enchants, gems, trinkets, and that is really only just
Here's the thing, like the only thing that kind of throws me off about an underground expansion is I feel like we've spent a lot of time underground lately. I feel like the Vault of the Incarnates was a raid that took place in a cave. And then we went to Aberys, and that was also a cave underground. I mean, the entirety of the patch was underground, essentially. And I don't really care for that aesthetic that much. I don't like the drippy wet, where underground, I can't see the sky, all that shit. So I don't know how they would do an expansion based on all that. Obviously, I hope we get some cool skyboxes and other things that are above ground. But I feel like we've been doing this a lot already, so I don't know what an underground expansion would be.
Aspect of u.gg, you can also discover tier lists to see what classes are the best performers, DPS, healers, tanks, and this isn't only for raiding, but also for mythic, plus PvP, and it is the best data from the very best of WoW players, just straight out precise info. Best of all, it is super easy to get used to, that you can find.
It was literally a vault, a fucking vault inside of a mountain, this fucking cave.
All you need in only 1 minute with u.gg. So make sure to click the link in the description, check out u.gg, and optimize your WoW performance for 10.1.7 completely free. I'm pretty sure all of you are already familiar with the themes of the Azeroth World Soul, the Awakening. If you may remember, that is pretty much how Dragonflight started, although they didn't actually address this in any significant way, but there was something with the World Soul and the Dragon Isles. The Dragon Isles appeared due to something happening to it, then as Dragonflight went on, we got these lore hints that she may be elemental in nature and that Azeroth is not a Titan whatsoever, but it has always been vague, so they have been talking about her, setting it up non-stop, but nothing has been confirmed. However, then we started getting Zealot hints, and I want to give it the most recent one, fresh from the 10.2 PTR. We got this item called an Omnious Artifact, which is obviously a setup for Zealot happening soon. It talks about the old god writing on an artifact, and it says, I do remember hearing a rather odd rumor about a void creature trapped in a weapon of some sort. I shudder to think there are other such artifacts. Personally, I would say this is a massive hint. I mean, in the past, we got these little rumor hints, Dragon Isles being a rumor, and here we are right now. They're definitely setting something up with Zealot, but interesting enough, she might not even turn out to be an old god, and she may actually be a void creature, which could completely set something different than us believing she's a fallen 5th old god. The reason I'm bringing this
I kind of like the theory. So there's a theory out there that she was actually the strongest of the old gods. She was like a 5th old god, and the others teamed up against her to kill her, or, imprison her, because I guess they couldn't kill her, to like imprison her and weaken her and everything so they could take over. That theory was cool, but then this one now is saying she's some kind of void creature instead of an old god.
They're obviously making Xel'Tath relevant again in 10.2, and
definitely
so
she needs a new model, by the way. She's literally just a void elf, like a standard looking void elf. She's hot, but she needs to be hotter.
10.2, and so far the pre-10.1 prophecy has been coming true, and something is definitely going on. So first of all, it's said that the primal power seeks the end of order, and such rage can be bent to serve our ends. This is obvious in Ridicron. We saw the Xel'Tath figure in the portal behind him. It also said our hunger lost to the ages will be reclaimed. Guess what happened? I mean, exactly with Galakrond.
The hunger lost to the ages is obviously Galakrond and his hunger to just devour everything in sight. He was eating drakes all the time. That's why he was growing eyes and extra arms and all that shit. And now he has that essence. Now Galakrond, or Iridikron has the essence of Galakrond. And I don't know if he's going to use it to empower himself or what, but he plans on bringing the Titans back, and he's going to use some type of power to fight them.
Hunger from Lost to the Ages was reclaimed. Most interestingly, by this document, Xel'Tath should be the Harbinger, and it says that she will fulfill the final prophecy and complete the awakening, which almost certainly talks about the World Soul of Azeroth being relevant. However, other interesting thing that it mentions is that the Harbinger gathers the children of the First Flesh to reclaim what was lost, and that they must remember their vows and serve those to whom they owe fealty.
Is he talking about us? Are we the children of the First Flesh? Because remember, we got the Curse of Flesh from the old gods. Originally, you know, the humans and the dwarves and especially the gnomes too. They were all just, you know, mechanical and elemental creatures created by the old gods to just maintain the surface of Azeroth. And the curse of the flesh was given to us. Because it says they must remember their vows and serve those to whom they owe fealty. Yeah, maybe I should let the video play.
We still, of course, don't know who these guys are, but interesting enough, it lines up with that leaked cinematic still we got with an Iridikron figure. And
by the way, the more I've looked at this, I've decided it's one of those dragon boys, the gargoyle boys from Castle Nathria. It looks like a gargoyle. This is an ear, clearly. The jawline here, the lack of a nose. I think this is definitely one of those gargoyle boys. And I think what we're going to see, really, is a Sire Denathrius, some type of, like, alignment with Sire Denathrius, the Burning Legion. You know, he's supposed to take that shit over. And I still am unsure whether or not this is Galakrond in the back. I mean, Iridikron in the background. That's what people have been saying. This could all be fake, but it might not be.
Drogbar, underground looking humanoid figure right in the front, and these could be the Children of Flesh. Of course, could just be BS AI art, but it does line up with this theory. However, why do you think we could actually be going inside Azeroth in 11.0? Well, the main reason for that is there is actually evidence for something like this happening. First of all, I want to say that Blizzard debunked the pirate expansion happening. They also debunked that 11.0 will be an old god expansion. Now, obvious nuance here, keep in mind, by debunked old god expansion, they didn't say they won't appear, just that the entire expansion isn't going to be about them. They don't want to constrain themselves to a single team, and instead they want multiple things happening at the same time. So, for example, Dragon Isles, Dragon Aspects, the Emerald Dream. However, what are these actual hints that we just got from 10.2 PTR? Well, first of all, despite no pirates happening, we're actually data mining new flying ships, and we are data mining new ship models as well.
Keep in mind, the shipbuilding stuff that I talked about might happen. So if you don't know this yet, I said that I thought we were going to get some kind of, not a shipyard like what we had in WoD, please no, but some type of ship customization thing, like dragon riding, but instead it would be ship riding, and you could sail the open seas and do all this shit without loading screens and everything else, and venture out to new lands or a new continent. That's where we thought we were going with this. I still think my ship theory could remain true. I mean, we all know Bobby loves boats, so why not put more boats into the game? It's very possible.
Keep in mind, when they said no pirates, they probably meant no island expeditions, no pirate ships, or a pirate-themed expansion. But what about flying? We not only data mine new flying ship models, but we also have an encrypted cosmetic set known as the Sky Captain's Masquerade attire, which at the moment is not actually connected to anything relevant in Dragonflight. Keep in mind, we have data mined whole expansions with this much info in the past. However, a bit of a crazy theory, so bear with me here for a second, but what if you're not not flying to another continent, but flying inside Azeroth. I know, crazy, but let me just explain why I think this could be a possibility. So, in 10.2, we are data mining a really strange number of mechanical things that obviously don't have anything to do with the Emerald Dream. Spoilers here, but we data mined the ending of 10.2 already. We shouldn't expect to see anything related to these data mined items. We got Siege.
We also got Dreadlord armor data mined, which was very interesting.
Models, we got this strange looking dark iron siege engine
Holy
out
shit,
of the blue.
That's badass.
Most interestingly, we data mined this really big Daenerys Wasteland armor set with this really strange cool Mad Max kind of style, like
the Mad
really
Max
goblin
badass.
looking. We even got this backpack that is obviously of goblin origin, which really signals the undermined theory that a lot of people have been talking about, something mechanical, mechanome type style. Bear with me, I know it is a little crazy,
maybe people finally get the Tinker class or whatever they've been wanting. We do need maybe we need another tank class. But if anyone doesn't know what the Tinker class is, it's been something people have wanted for a long time. Basically, gnomes and goblins in mech suits. That's what people want, and I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be a nice addition to the game. You could easily create some type of healing, class out of a spec out of it, a tanking spec and a DPS spec. It's very easy to do, just different robots that they get in or whatever.
Remember that Blizzard decided to do this really experimental thing with the Zerala Caverns, a huge underground zone, and in a ton of interviews they talked about how they want to try something completely new, and they constantly asked for feedback on this cave. What if this was the testing ground to shape the next expansion? First of all, Blizzard has been deep in 11.0 development for a long time already, and remember, Undermine, a huge goblin city that we never actually visited right on the Isle of Kazan, exists. Now, you may be thinking,
Kazan in general hasn't been
plenty of lore zones that we never visited, but once again, bear with me. So the leading theory, and not my speculation theory, like this is the official Blizzard theory, that Kazan blew up not because of Deathwing, but because of Azerite that was dug there. There was something really big around Kazan, and the goblins may have dug too deep. Furthermore, it is on Kazan that Khajiit was found, and aside from Azeroth, possibly the most potent material that we know of. That is because it might actually be similar to Azerite. Remember, goblins evolved with Khajiit into really intelligent beings. Remember that trolls evolved into spellcasters through the Well of Eternity, which, as we know, is the blood of the world soul. So the idea is that Kazan and Undermine may just be our entry point here. Why is this even more relevant? Well, first of all, it was hinted that Iridikron knows the deep places of Azeroth, that he's doing something crazy to bring the Titans into Azeroth. We haven't seen anything in Dragonflight yet. Now, by all the accounts, since we data mined the ending of 10.2, it seems like that it is for Dragonflight and that we will be moving the entire Iridikron Zelda thing into the next
I don't think we're going to kill Iridikron in this
expansion,
expansion.
probably going to be related to
10.2 will be the final patch. Farak will be the final boss. We'll get faded ratings, something like that. We'll get a 10.2.5, 10.2.7 to finish out the storyline, but Iridikron will continue on. He's now having sexual relationships with a void elf bitch, and he's not going to come back right now. So that's where he's gone. He's gone. We'll fight him later.
these deep places.
But Xalatash and him are gone, and they're not coming back anytime soon.
Brings us to Avaloran. I know you heard about it a million times, but remember, on Avaloran, Titan Forge rebelled in the ages past against the Titans. Odin, that is like a Titan Order fanatic, sent 3 field expeditions, and the heretic defenses were too strong, and he said he's going to wait for them to turn onto each other, as is their nature. Now, we don't know anything about these guys, as well as those Earthen that turned into dwarves without having anything to do with the actual dwarves, and they may be onto something here. Iridikron clearly stated that he wants to get rid of Titan Order. The dragon aspects, and big spoilers here for the ending of 10.2, they seem to be empowered together with Wiranot as new aspects of Azeroth, aspects of life, but not Titan aspects, just the aspects of Amirdasil. Do you think it is likely that Iridikron is teaming up with the original Titan Order rebels in order to accomplish this mission and bring the Titans to Azeroth? By all the other accounts, it might seem that the dragons could turn against the Titans as well, but they don't seem to be working together with Iridikron. It's like 2 plans at the same time. He said in the cinematic that we will see the Titans don't care about us, and when he starts pressing what they hold most dear, which is obviously the world soul of Azeroth, they will arrive. So I would totally see the war trying to awaken Azeroth, and that forces the Titans that, as you may know, are revived to come to Azeroth, but they're also significantly weakened. This could of course be avoided.
Here's the thing though, Titans come back. Who's also chilling out there with the Titans? Illidan and Sargeras. That's why I see more of a, you know, a Dreadlord, Void, all that shit. I think that stuff's going to happen because we could see that Sargeras realized he was duped by the Dreadlords. Right? He was totally fucking, he got played. He got played big time. So, Illidan realizing, you know, Sargeras realizing that, Illidan coming back, like these things could happen, and we could, who knows, imagine Sargeras fighting against Sire Denathrius and his new Legion army, aka the old Legion army that Sargeras was in charge of. That'd be pretty cool.
But it could also be based around the
old boss versus new boss kind of thing.
Actual chamber, and the entire expansion could be about saving the world soul of Azeroth. This also lines up perfectly with what they said. They don't want expansions to be about one thing, but multiple things at the same time. So this is a Void invasion that could be linked up with the Titan Order destruction that continues on the Dragonflight storyline. Furthermore, as Undermine could be a really important link to the world soul of Azeroth, it could be a whole nother patch where we get a Goblin storyline and get a brand new city on this. If Goblins get a city, it could also prompt Blizzard to finally do something with Gnomergan, as well as, you know, Goblins and Gnomes are always connected. I know a bit of a stretch here, but
it all lines up pretty well, though. If you give the Goblins a city like that, you know, Kazan comes back to the Goblins, Gnomergan comes back to the Gnomes, you get your Mecha class, you know, you do all that. Yeah, I could totally see it happening that way.
Me, what if under Kazan deep and Undermine there is the actual entrance to the World Soul, like the main chamber where they dug and they triggered some sort of a fail-safe mechanism that blew up the entire island and forced them to abandon it? Or what if they could discover those rebellious Titanforge that just blew them up? I know, crazy theories, but you gotta admit there could definitely be something here, especially when you line it up with the data mined items. Right now though, we're data mining these armor sets, mechanical things, so something could definitely be happening. Thank you for watching. Check out how Dragonflight is ending, all the data mine information by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on Slavic pirates and Vikings by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Look, as far as, like, you know, data mining goes and all that, yeah, there's a lot of speculation here, but what Dorn was doing in this video isn't that crazy. Whether or not it's the next expansion, I don't know, but do I think eventually we go down some kind of mecha line in terms of World of Warcraft, or maybe we get those, you know, the classes that I was talking about, or a return of Gnome and Goblin cities? Yeah, could happen. Whether or not it's an entire expansion based on that shit, I don't know.